Hello and welcome to Life in DNA with Amanda Renee. I'm Amanda. I told you, don't forget, please like this video if you like it. Click the like button and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. Thank you. Last week I told you that we were throwing our daughter's 8th grade graduation, and I wanted to talk about the positives of that first and brag on her a little bit. It went really, really well. We had several people. I would say, I know for sure my family, we had a few members of my husband's family that came. More of his family would have been there if there wouldn't have been a death in the family just 2 weeks before this happened, and it was a really close family member, so most of them couldn't come, and but we totally understood that. And actually I need to see if I can send them the video so they can see it. But yeah, so there was quite a few there. Our church family, some of the close ones were closest to the pastor and his wife, the kids pastor and his wife and kids. One of the deacons was there and helped us run the sound and the video, and we were so thankful for him coming and doing that. He had just gotten back from a trip and working all day, and he still came and did that for us, and we really appreciated that. So yeah, it was a pretty good turnout, and I was crazy nervous because I teach preschoolers, and I head up the kids 4-H, so I'm used to talking in front of kids. I'm not used to talking in front of adults, and it was a little intimidating having to speak in front of just my immediate family, and especially my pastor. He came up and gave me a hug afterwards, told me I did good, and asked me if I was okay because I thought I was going to pass out right before I went on stage. But our daughter, she did awesome. I did a little speech and kind of introduced everything, and then we had a slideshow that our daughter totally put together, and she did the whole thing and did great with that. And then she wrote a speech. I was like, you have to get up and say something. We needed it long enough to make it worth my family members that had to drive 2.5 hours to come and see it, but not so long that everyone, was sitting there waiting for it to end. So I think we did a pretty good job with that. And she wrote her own speech. I gave very little feedback. One, because I know she doesn't like a lot of feedback, and two, because she really did great writing it. And she got up super confident and just nailed it, and so she did great. And then I got back up, and my husband came on stage, and he's the one that actually handed her the little the diploma. And that was it. Took pictures and went home and had a cookout with everybody, and that was nice and fun. So yeah, I'm always impressed and somewhat jealous of our daughter because she's so confident. It's been funny watching her grow up. She has so much of me in her, and she has so much of her father in her, but she's very much her own person, very much her own combination of those things. But she has always been extremely confident, and I'm jealous because I've never been that at all. Not even close. And yeah, so I'm thankful that she gets to be that way and nobody knocks her down off of that. So yeah, I was very, very proud of her and happy with how it turned out. I was gonna let you know how it went with my mother. It went okay. They came, and They didn't stay long afterwards, which personally I was okay with, but yeah. So not everyone was happy to see them, but for the most part, it went well. Just a little, when you know someone's, I don't know, when you know their negative points, and especially with realizing how narcissistic my mother is and things, her narcissistic ways really stand out to me now, where before it would have been like, I would have just rolled my eyes at how she is, and now I'm just like, there's one more thing to add into the, add to the list of things that she does that's annoying. They came in and hugged us and everything, and that's fine, and went and sat down. But then immediately afterwards, my husband had to leave to go start the grill because everybody was fixing to come over and eat, and we needed to, he needed to get it started. And I said, I'll make sure everybody leaves and I'll lock up and everything, and we'll be the last ones to get back. And our son went, with my husband, and wanted to get there and see everybody and help him get the grill started and all that. So he took off with him, and then of course, so my mom has to come up to me looking all sad and everything, and I've learned to just ignore that. Where before she would do it and she would get a reaction out of me, and she would be like, oh, let me feel sorry for you. And now I'm just like, whatever, because I am not her emotional source anymore. So, and I am not going to let myself be that. But of course I noticed, the look on her face, because that's what she does. And then she was like, where's Declan? Or, where's your son? I didn't get to hug him. And I'm like, they had to go get the grill started. I don't know. I didn't say that to her because I didn't even want to bother engaging, but they arrived early for once, and she had all of that time ahead of time. He was just sitting there waiting on me to get everything started, that she could have walked up and, said hi to him or called him over, and she didn't bother doing that. But yeah, so she just wanted to feel sorry for herself. So then they loaded up and took off, and I found out from my sister afterwards that I guess one of them, she had invited one of them to go out to eat afterwards, and so she had to say something, well, I think they're doing something afterwards. And I guarantee you, and then my dad said something about the cookout in front of them. Obviously, my mom and them were not invited. But I'm like, if she's gonna pretend to be insulted by not being invited, that is extremely hypocritical and a lie, because she wouldn't come even if we did invite her, because she was the one that said she wouldn't even come to birthday parties. First of all, it's because, well, there might be beer there, and then second, oh, it's because my dad was coming. Well, my dad was at this event, and my dad was coming to the cookout, and so she better not pretend to be offended at that, because and she doesn't invite us to anything either. So they have all their birthday parties and things like that, and we are not invited at all. So I'm guessing either it was something else that happened, or she's lying to everyone to play the victim, of course, again. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that, but I didn't want to focus on that. I wanted to focus on the positives, because I have a lot of really great family. My dad showed up, and came to the cookout, and him and my baby sister that lives probably just a few miles from me, and her husband, they were the last ones to stay and hang out and talk with us. And, my dad's always there if I need him. And my sisters that live 2.5 hours away, one had just been down here the weekend before, and they still, even though they could, they didn't want to stay the night, that way they could have Sunday to rest up before they went to work and everything, but they still, they all piled up. My niece and nephew came. My other two nieces would have, they were planning on coming. One of them had to babysit their sick dog, and she would rather do it and let her dad come to the graduation. And then my other niece was babysitting. She got a last minute call from the people she babysits for, and otherwise they would have been there too. And so, I'm very thankful for that. And of course my sister that lives here, her and her husband came, and I'm extremely thankful for that and for them. And my husband's relatives, our daughter thought to invite some of his aunts and uncles that they invite us to things a lot, and she was like, well, we ought to invite them. And so they showed up, and that was awesome. And some people that we go to church with, a lady that we used to go to church with, she still goes to my mom's church, and she came. And it was just really great to see everyone show up and celebrate our daughter and make her feel special. And everyone, gave her a gift or a card or something, and it was just really nice. I was very, very thankful for that. Let's see, the other thing I was going to mention, to go back to my mother, the other thing that was so annoying, and let me know if you know of anyone in your life that does this. Okay, of course, she brought a gift to our daughter for graduation. But my mother has done this thing since she had grandkids. She insists on bringing some sort of candy. She brings this one thing of candy that she still thinks that is the only kind of candy they're allowed to eat, and it's not. That just shows you how little she knows her grandkids, because she doesn't even know that that's not the only candy they're allowed to eat. And anyway, she insists on bringing this candy and either a little gift or a little bit of cash or something to her grandkids every time she sees them, which isn't very often, by the way. But she has done this since they were little, and it's our kids, and I know my sister's kids too, they don't expect to get anything when they see I go and visit my sisters all the time. My sisters come and visit us all the time. We don't bring each other's kids things, unless it's, Christmas or a birthday or something like that. But just to randomly see them, we don't get them things, and they are still excited to see us, and they like to see us and happy that we're around, just because, we show up to things. And my mother has insisted on doing this, and then she will make it sound to other people. And I've heard her say it I've heard with my own ears her say these things. And then my daughter was telling me that she's overheard her say things too, that like, oh, well, now she's the Mentos, that's the candy that she brings them. She's the Mentos grandma, because she has to bring it to the kids now every time she sees them. And my kids are like, we don't care. Like, they don't, half the time they sit up in the cupboard, or in their room until they're just so bored that they end up eating it. Like, they don't care. They're just happy to, see their grandparents when they actually see them. But my mom insisted on doing this and conditioning these kids to expect something every time they saw her, just so that she can play the victim and like, oh, poor me, now I have to do this, or they're going to be like upset when none of them would be upset with that. None of them would even care that they didn't get anything when they saw her. My dad, and not that my dad hasn't, done anything. He gives them gifts at Christmas and birthdays and things like that. He's taken us out to dinner and stuff many times. But if we just randomly go over to his house, or if we invite him over for dinner, he doesn't bring my kids anything. And I wouldn't want him to. I don't expect that. And my kids are still excited to see him. They're like, oh, Papa's here. They're just happy to see them, which is exactly how they would be with my mom if she would quit being a weirdo and just, let them be excited to see her. But she wants to get everything twisted. It's really sad. But the thing that makes me mad about it is that when she talks to other people about it, she makes all of our kids sound like greedy little monsters that would be, disappointed and offended if they didn't get some piece of candy and, $5 or whatever that she happens to give them. And none of her kids are even like that. That's the thing that makes me mad. And that she gets to play the victim, like, oh, that's so sad that your grandkids are like that. Well, no, she's the one that's like that, not them. She's the one that wants the gifts all the time. And so she projects that onto everyone else. But anyway, enough about her. I was going to give a quick health update. And warning, it will be TMI. So if you don't want to hear in detail what's going on, then you might want to shut this off now. But my gynecologist got the results back from my cycle mapping test. I have not gotten to see them yet. I am extremely curious to get my hands on them and see them, because I like to see my test results for myself. Just kind of the nerd in me. But she had a lot of questions just about when my last period started and kind of how things were going. And it was a lot of information to give her just in a phone call, and a lot of dates that were kind of crazy, with a lot of things going on with me, because the month that I took the test, you are supposed to start the test day 7 of your cycle. So when you start your period is day 1, and you're supposed to start at day 7 and go until your next period or until the test runs out. And that particular month I had an extremely heavy period, and then I had a week of nothing. So I thought, okay, my period ended. And then after that week was up, I had 7 days of bleeding again, but it wasn't, I know my periods, and this was not a period, but I bled for 7 days, and it was just consistent enough. So I marked it down and told her about that. And then I was expecting another period 28 days from the first one, the heavy one, and that didn't show up, but had one show up 28 days from the second week of bleeding. So either they're off or something's going on. I don't know. This one has been so heavy that, like, yesterday I was really, really, really weak. Like, crazy. Like, really close to just calling the doctor to make sure nothing else was going on. But I took some of my like amino acid powder and stuff like that, and it kind of gave me a little bit of energy, enough to cook supper and things like that. But yeah, I was so tired, and I went to bed early, and it was just, I feel a little better today. I'm still a little dragging, like I don't have a lot of energy, but I'm not as bad as I was yesterday. So I didn't end up calling the doctor just because I didn't really think there was much they could do for me. I hydrated because I thought, well, I might be a little bit dehydrated too, just because the extra heat. It's really hot outside and things like that. So drank more and trying to hydrate today and trying to eat a little more today than I did yesterday. Because between the all the blood loss and also being on the semaglutide shots and just everything else, it's my stomach's been upset and I haven't been able to eat as much, and so trying to recuperate from that a little bit. So hopefully once this cycle is over, my body can build back up. I put myself back on iron every other day just as a precaution because I know what it's like to get crazy anemic, and it's not good and it's not fun. And that's what I was a little bit afraid of yesterday. But I'm on it, and I'm trying to watch it and upping my water intake and stuff like that. So I think that'll be good. I should hear back. Oh, I typed up, so all the information that I gave my gynecologist over the phone, I knew it was a lot. So I typed it up and put all the dates of what was going on and what happened. And then letting her know I was on the semaglutide because I haven't seen her since I started it, and took that by her office and let her have that. So she's supposed to get back with me when she kind of looks over everything and gets everything figured out. I know that my hormones are crazy. I know they're out of whack. She also scheduled an ultrasound of my uterus. I knew that was going to be coming because I have fibroids, and it's one of the things that can cause you to bleed so heavily. And so I knew that was coming, and because I hadn't had one in 2 years, so I need to keep an eye on that. And she had given me a prescription right before I got the cycle mapping test for progesterone, so I started taking that. That has really helped my sleep a lot. Like, I sleep great on progesterone now. And so I'm curious to see what else it'll do for me as far as the other symptoms. But I still think the testosterone and estrogen are probably out of whack as well. So I'm curious to see what those test results are. And yeah, and then tomorrow I will get my next shot and have my next weigh-in. So hopefully the scale goes down again. That would be awesome. You would think it would have to, as little as I've eaten in the past few days, but you never know. So yeah, that's pretty much what was going on with all of that. I should have those results by next week and be able to give a little more of an update with that, and hopefully know where I'm headed with hormones in the future, because I know I probably need to get on something because I need some help there. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today. I am really looking on the genealogy side. I've been so busy with getting everything ready for our daughter's graduation that I haven't been able to do anything genealogy in a couple weeks. But since I need to rest and let my body kind of recuperate a little bit, I'm hoping to get to do some of that. I've been looking, they added a new Pro Tool to their Pro Tools, where you can see how other of your DNA matches, how they're connected to each other. And I am extremely excited about doing that. And it's $10 a month. So I want to at least pay for 1 month and kind of check it out and see, and then I can cancel it. And after that, especially if I don't have the time to devote to it, because next month's going to be pretty busy. But if I can at least play around with them for a few weeks and let you know what those are like. I know I keep saying I'm going to do that, but I really am going to do that. I've just kind of been waiting on a good time to get to sit down and actually do it. So hopefully I'll get to do that soon, and then I will let y'all know how that goes. So yeah. Make sure you hit the like button if you like this video, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.